Yo, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Today, we're going to be ranking every single Spider-Man movie from best to worst on Tier Maker. I'm really excited to do this. I've been waiting so long to do this because I actually just recently watched all the Spider-Man movies and god dang, they are all so very good in their own unique ways. Without further ado, make sure you guys like this video, comment what you guys want me to react to next, and subscribe to the channel for some more juicy content. Without further ado, let's check out our tier maker list and let's get it set up. Let's freaking go. Okay, so here I have all the movies from chronological order. Going to be going through every single one in depth on why I actually don't want it there, or why it, you know, it's going to be it shouldn't be a decently long video, but it's going to be, I guess, kind of long. So get your freaking popcorn and come hang out with us, because we're going to be ranking all the Spider-Man movies. So obviously, starting off with the first Spider-Man movie to come out in 2002. Green Goblin was the villain, also known as Willem Dafoe. You guys should already know this. Great villain, by the way. I do have to say, in this movie, I really like Green Goblin. I like his suit in this. I think the whole aspect of him getting the green gas and turning, obviously, really evil it's one of the greatest villain arcs, I think, in history. It's amazing. It really is. But there's one thing that I do not like about this movie, and obviously it's CGI. Okay, I know you're like, Draven, the movie came out in 2002. It's not gonna be the best CGI. I know that, you guys, and I'm just saying, in my opinion, the CGI in this movie is pretty bad. But I still think that this movie is by far one of my favorite Spider-Man movies of all time. It's just a classic. It's the first Spider-Man movie. I'm not going to give this an A, and I'm not going to give this an S, because I feel like it doesn't deserve that. I mean, it does deserve that, but the CGI is just not it for me. So I'm going to put this at it's a high B. If there was a B plus here, it would be there, but it's right there. It's where I want it. And it's right there. It's going to stay right there. Moving on to Spider-Man 2. Now, Spider-Man 2, I definitely liked this movie more than Spider-Man 1. Honestly, I found Doc Ock to actually, I think he's a better villain than Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin. Honestly, I like Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, but I feel like Doc Ock's cooler in my opinion, and I like him better. He's just a cooler villain. And honestly, I really enjoyed this movie. There wasn't, like, obviously there's not a lot of memes in this one either. And the CGI is pretty decent for the age of the movie. And I know it's not all CGI, but I still think this movie is better than the first one. But I still think the first one's good. So I'm going to put this in at an A. It's not an S yet, but an A. And I do like Kristen Dunst in this. I think this is one of her best performances out of all the Spider-Man movies. But yeah, I do like Spider-Man 2 a lot more than Spider-Man 1. And this is just my opinion. If you guys hate me for it, I'm sorry. It's just my opinion. Moving on. Now, the controversial one, Spider-Man 3. Okay, I really like this movie. Okay, don't get me wrong. I really like this movie. This was probably one of my favorite movies at the time because, I mean, all the villains are together, and it's really cool. It's kind of like No Way Home, except not really. But I really like this movie. I like the whole Venom aspect, and I actually liked the Venom in this. I know Tom Hardy's a lot better, and you guys are going to argue with me saying, oh, this Venom is so cringy. I actually liked this Venom. I thought, you know, I think he looks really cool in this, to be honest. And I think that they did a decent job, I guess. But still, you have Bully Maguire. It's got all the memes in it. This movie is a meme, but I still enjoy it, and I don't think of it as a meme. I don't know. I want to put this in the B, but I don't think it can go in the B because it's just not. It's still good, and I still enjoy it. I really like Sandman. I think the Sandman scenes are amazing, and I love the soundtrack in this movie, by the way. The soundtrack in this movie is my favorite soundtrack of any movie, except like Pirates of the Caribbean, to be honest. I'm gonna put this at a C. I might move it around, but this is going in the middle, okay? I mean, no, it's not the middle, but you get the freaking point, okay? Jesus, a lot of talking today. Moving on. The Amazing Spider-Man. I know this is a very controversial one, and you guys are gonna not enjoy it as much. I really liked Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. I really, really liked Andrew Garfield in Spider-Man. I think that he does such a good job in this movie. I know, okay, I actually watched a video on this earlier, and I know he's not, like, nerdy, because he's not nerdy. He really isn't. He's like a skateboarder. And the whole Flash Thompson in this one is a little weird. I do like Flash Thompson in this one, don't get me wrong, but I think he's not a nerd, man. And they really butchered that part of, because Spider-Man's supposed to be a nerd, dude. He's like a nerdy teenager, not a skateboarding dude. You know what I'm saying? And I love the graphics in this one. I really do. And I actually think the CGI is very, very good in this one. And honestly, that's going to make me put it at a B. I know you're like, oh, Draven, this doesn't deserve a B. Tarkov, get out of here. This doesn't deserve a B. But honestly, I really like this Spider-Man. I think it's very underrated. And I love the whole swinging scenes and stuff in this movie, because I think they do a really, really good job on the Andrew Garfield ones. And I think his jokes are just amazing. I think he's just a funny character, and that's how Spider-Man's supposed to be portrayed. I really enjoy Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. I really do. And I'm not going to try to spoil No Way Home, so I'm not going to say really much, but moving on. That's where I'm going to put it for now. B, I think for these two to be together, I think it's kind of fair, in my opinion, but, you know. Moving on to Spider-Man 2. Guys, don't hate me in the comments, please. It's just a video, and I'm just trying to give you good video. Moving on to Spider-Man 2. Now, this movie is a lot different than Spider-Man 1 for me. Now, I do love Gwen Stacy, and the scene, obviously, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it yet, which it's been out for quite a while. Gwen Stacy does die in the ending of this movie, and the death scene in this is the coolest death scene, I think, in any Marvel movie I think I've seen. It's very, like, sentimental, and the way they do it is kind of, it's just sad. It really is sad, but it's a very, I enjoyed this movie quite a lot. Honestly, the Electric Eel look for Electro is kind of stupid. He looks like that SpiderMan meme, if you guys know what I mean. And Hobgoblin, oh my God, his character. I did not like Hobgoblin. And the way they made him look was very, very cringy. They could have done such a better job with the way he looked. And honestly, I really like Spider-Man's, like, he made this movie funny. And I really like, I am the Rhino. I love that part at the beginning when he's on the side of and he's talking to Rhino, and it's just a good scene. But honestly, Green Goblin or Hobgoblin made this movie, I don't know. He just kind of, I don't know. I like this movie still. I still do. I'm going to put this at a C. Not much will be in these, because honestly, no Spider-Man movie is really that bad, in my opinion. It's all got a lot of action. It's all fun and awesome. But it's going at a C. Not my favorite. Graphics were amazing, but it's going at a C. Moving on to Spider-Man Homecoming. Now, I really love this movie. Really, really love this movie. The casting for Vulture was amazing. The whole character arc between... You know what's crazy? That Spider-Man was actually... Or Peter Parker, Tom Holland, was going for actually a different girl at the beginning. And it's kind of funny that he ended up with MJ. And I really like the whole high school factor in this, because it actually shows a lot more of his high school and him actually being a nerd with Ned and like Legos and stuff. Like, they are... Like, this is the best Peter Parker they've ever made. And I really love this movie. I think it's such a good movie. And honestly, I loved it. It was so good. It led up to so much different stuff. I mean, obviously Vulture is still alive in the MCU. He's still alive. And we're just waiting to see where the next part takes us for Vulture. So I'm going to put this at an A. I really, really like this movie. I really, really like... I mean, obviously, they didn't introduce Tom Holland in this movie. They introduced him in Civil War. But I still think this movie competes I don't know now. All right, I'm going to put it at a B. It's a B+. Because I feel like it doesn't compete as well as Spider-Man 2. But I'm going to put it for here now. I might move stuff around once I get to thinking. But for right now, it's right there. Far From Home. Oh, by the way, Tony Stark is in this movie. So I also really like that and how he's like his dad, basically. He's like a Big Ben to him. He's like his mentor. And I really like that. And I really liked how they carried that on in the other movies after he died in Endgame, obviously. And moving on to Far From Home. I really like this movie as well. And I think Mysterio does such a good job. Jake Gyllenhaal, bro, your performance in this movie is great. And all the special effects. This movie CGI is obviously amazing. It's made in, I think, 2019, 2018, something like that. Don't roast me if I don't know. But this movie was great. I really like this movie. I just loved everything about it. This movie was very, very good. And he obviously carried on the Tony Stark as well because of the glasses and stuff. But I think I like this movie better than Homecoming. I like the action more. It was more reliant on Peter. And I really liked it. And also set up No Way Home. And I really like this movie. I think this competes. I think this competes with Spider-Man 2. I'm going to keep this here for now. If you guys are yelling at me for these, I will move stuff around. I'm still kind of deciding whether to put these in C because I feel like they don't go there, but I kind of want them there. I don't know. Okay, we'll go back. Moving on to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Guys, this movie is amazing. I really, really like this movie. The cartoons in this were amazing. I'm already putting this at an S tier because I know this is an S tier. Miles Morales is the best depiction of Spider-Man. Spider-Man Miles Morales has got to be one of the coolest characters ever introduced in, ever, dude. I love the games that he's in. I love this movie. I'm so excited for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2. I just love Miles Morales. He's Spider-Man, but better. He's just amazing. He honestly is. I'm going to leave it there. The graphics in this are amazing. If you guys have not seen this movie, what are you doing with your life? If you don't know Miles Morales, what are you doing with your life? It's just good. It's just very, very good. That's all I got to say. It's just very, very good. Moving on to last but not least, Spider-Man No Way Home. By far the best Marvel movie I have ever seen. I'm serious. This tops Endgame for me. I loved Endgame. I really loved Endgame. I really, really did. And spoiler, Tony Stark dies. That's the whole scene, honestly, in Infinity War as well. With Spider-Man, I'm not feeling well, Mr. Stark. That movie was great. Honestly, I loved Avengers Endgame, and I love Captain America. Captain America used to be my favorite superhero. I love Captain America, but this movie tops it all. It's by far one of the best movies I think I've ever seen. Honestly, I still like Pirates of the Caribbean better, but I mean 1 through 3, of course. Don't judge number 4 and 5. But Spider-Man No Way Home, I'm not going to spoil anything for you guys. If you guys want to watch my spoiler video, I'll leave it up in the top right. But this movie was great. They did everything that I expected them to do. This movie, I've never said a movie was perfect. Okay, there's always mistakes. This movie, in my opinion, this movie's perfect. It was made perfect. The jokes are so good. The characters are so amazing. It's very emotional. It's very sad, but it's also very inspiring and just motivating. And it's a very, very good movie. And you guys have to go see this in theaters right now if you have not yet. So looking at my list, I kind of want to move stuff around because I feel like Spider-Man, the original one, definitely competes with all of these. I think that Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man's an A. I know the CGI is trash. Obviously, it's not trash, but it's decent. I think it deserves an A. I really do. It's the first Spider-Man it's introduced. I think it deserves an A. I'm still keeping this one down here at C, and I'm going to move this one up to B because I do like the characters in this one, and I think it competes with. See, and I don't want this here though. God dang it, man! I don't know now because I feel like the newer Spider-Man are always better. I'm gonna put this at a B+. I think these are all very good movies, but just not the best movies, and I think these are definitely better. And I feel bad for putting Andrew Garfield down here because he's like my favorite Spider-Man, but I feel like the villains in this kind of made up my mind. Honestly, though, I think this is a pretty good tier list. I think this is pretty good. These two have to be my favorites of all time. These are so good. And I think these really do deserve an S. You guys are probably like, oh, these don't deserve an S. But Spider-Man Miles Morales is amazing. And then Spider-Man No Way Home is just honestly amazing. And I know Far From Home probably shouldn't go up here. But I really do think that this is one of my favorite Spider-Man movies. I really like this movie because of Jake Gyllenhaal. And it's just a really, really good movie. And it honestly, same with these two. These two are just amazing. Honestly, this one's also very, very good. And I could honestly put this in an A because I love Tobey Maguire. I really do. I think he's a great Spider-Man. If I were to have to rank all the Spider-Mans, Miles Morales number 1, Tom Holland number 2, Andrew Garfield number 3. Tobey is last, but I still love you, Tobey. I still love you. Don't get mad at me for not putting you number 1. You should be number 1, but you're number 4 because you're not as good as Miles Morales. But yeah, this is my list, guys. If you guys have anything to say about it, just put it in the comment section. If you guys agree with anything, let me know. I'd love to change stuff around and make like a part 2 about this. But thank you guys so much for watching this brand new video on the YouTube channel. If you did enjoy, I know it was kind of long. If you guys watched the entire thing, I love you. But I will see you guys in the next reaction video.